Excellennial here with another story-based Excel tutorial. And today I'm going to tell you about Rachel, the jewelry maker. Rachel loves to make jewelry for her Etsy store. She has a handful of jewelry types and designs. She organizes her orders based on those design requests. She gets tired of how long it takes to input the data though. We're going to see if we can make Rachel a couple of drop-down options in her spreadsheet. Here's Rachel's order sheet. We're going to focus on column A and column B, the jewelry type and design type. Now to make drop-downs, the first thing that we're going to need is a list of everything that needs to be in the drop-down. So I'm going to take you to the Designs tab where we already have this set up. These are the 4 jewelry types that Rachel sells currently, and these are the design types of each of those items that she has. Back on the Data tab, we're going to scroll down to the first clear row. So in cell A37, we're going to make the first dropdown, and it's going to be specifically for the jewelry type. Now I'm going to show you 2 different ways to have a data validation dropdown. So the first one, under the Data tab, and just adjacent here is Data Validation. Let's make sure that we do have cell A37 selected because that's where the dropdown is going to be. And then all we need to worry about here is changing the Any Value option to List, and then the Source section. This here should already say Ignore Blank and In Cell Dropdown. That should already be checked. If not, definitely check them, but it should be pre-programmed. Under Source, we will go to the Designs tab and select the cells that show the information we want on the dropdown. In this case, it would be necklace, bracelet, ring, earrings. Once you select those cells, it programs the information in for you in the Source section, and we can select OK. Now that we did the data validation step, there's going to be a little arrow next to the cell that we just programmed. In this dropdown, we can see all 4 of the items that we just programmed in, but that's not going to program the rest of the cells below it. So to program the rest of those, we need to either copy this cell and paste them down here to add the dropdown, or we need to click the little square in the corner, wait for the black crosshairs, and then drag this down. This could definitely be the most time-consuming part, so the other option is to just make a brand new jewelry type column. Add a new column before here. And since it inserted the copied cells, every single one of these cells is this drop-down. But we still want to keep her old orders, so what we can do is copy the information that originally was there and paste over the old ones. So what this does is we now have the jewelry type of the original orders that she had, but also every single one of the cells below here are properly programmed. Now we don't need this one because it's not completely programmed the way that we want it. So we'll delete that one. The next data validation we're going to do is going to be just a little bit different because it's going to be a drop-down type that we can add to. We'll start by going to B37 because this cell is the next blank one in the row. And now what we're going to do is take the same steps under Data tab and selecting Data Validation. We will still make it a list instead of any value. The one difference here is going to be that instead we're going to select our source a little bit differently. So we'll go to the Designs tab, and instead of just selecting a small portion, we're going to select the entire column. Then we'll click OK. So now we have everything in the drop-down, even including the design type label. We'll remove that later. We also have a bunch of white spaces here, so we can even select the white spaces in that drop-down. The reason why this is important though is that we can actually add more information here later on. Unlike the drop-downs here, where we only have our 4 select options, in cell B37, we actually have multiple options according to what we have in the Designs tab and some of these blank ones. Let me show you why this is valuable real quick. Under the Designs tab, if she thinks of a new idea that she wants to try out, let's say gold stars. Now is she going to have to redo the data validation that we just did? She would have if we did it the old way and just selected specific cells for the drop-down list. In this case, for the design type, we selected the entire column. Because we selected the entire column, the gold stars option is already here. So what do we do about design type being right here? That's not very helpful since she already knows that this is the design type column. This is already programmed in the data validation, so what we can do is just change it to another design. What's so important about this is that it allows Rachel to add designs easily without having to try and remember them or make a whole separate list of them. She already has her list on this Designs tab and can continue to add to it. But the whole time, this will stay updated, so she still doesn't have to do all the extra work of typing out the new designs. This is only available if you select the entire column in the data validation selection. To show you what I'm talking about, I'll go ahead and add another jewelry type here. Now I may have added it to the list, but because we only programmed cell A2 through A5, it's not going to pick this one up when I go to the Data tab. In the dropdown, it's still only going to show the 4 that we originally programmed. This is still helpful for Julia because she only has these 4 jewelry types. Her design types keep expanding though, so she wants to be able to add to those. Now in the same way that we had to program the rest of the cells to have this dropdown available in column A, we're going to have to do the same thing for column B. So I'm going to do the same thing as before, just insert a whole new column, and this will be our brand new design type column. So here I'm going to copy over the new dropdown that we made with all of the design types and paste it into this entire column. It's going to add what I already had selected, so I'm going to delete that, but you can see when I select each of these cells, the dropdown is now available. So just like before, to make sure that we keep all of our old order information, we'll copy the design type and the information that was there before, paste that over, and delete our old column. Now that all of that is said and done, we have the jewelry type and design type and the original orders, but all of the old columns are now properly given the dropdowns that we just programmed. Rachel's excited to try out these new dropdowns that we just made. They're going to save so much time and allow Rachel to still add additional designs whenever she needs to. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and until next time, have fun excelling!